Hello and welcome to this quick run through of what an observer pattern is and why and how you might use it in Crayta. So an observer pattern is a programming pattern which is a way of structuring your code so that it makes maintaining and updating and editing your game a lot easier as it grows and scales and as you continue to build it. The observer pattern particularly focuses on this idea of events and entities in your game shouting out when things happen, when certain conditions are met. They shout out an event and other entities in your game listen to that event. So you will have already experienced some aspect of the observer pattern at play if you've used any of the in-game events in the entity editor here, such as the on-trigger enter and on-trigger exit events. You can also integrate these using some scripting. For example, on this announcer script, I have a reference to the platform trigger there, and I'm listening for that event. I'm listening for a specific event, which is that the player entered the trigger whilst holding a dodgeball. And then when that event occurs, I run this logic here. That event is fired from the platform script, which is attached to the trigger. So that checks the condition and then fires that event. But notice that this script, which is attached to the trigger, has absolutely no reference to this script, which is attached to the announcer, which means that I can change the condition of this event really easily and update that and add other events without needing to necessarily rewrite aspects of the announcer when I do that. An alternative way of using the observer pattern, as well as the events in the entity editor and using events on the fly dynamically in the code here, there's another way of doing it, which is using the getWorld broadcaster scripts function. The broadcaster scripts function will go through every single entity in your game world, and it will find any script attached to any entity with this function name. So here I'm using it when a dodgeball hits a player. I want to fire the hit player event on every single script in my game world. I've got a scoreboard script here, which has got a function called hit player. So as soon as that event fires, this script will fire this function, and then the logic will proceed down here on the player died event here. Now, the good thing again is that this dodgeball script doesn't have any references or care about the scoreboard at all. So it means that the scoreboard and any UI stuff can be maintained completely separately from the dodgeball itself, which is really important because if you change that dodgeball and made it, I don't know, a chicken, or you change the script into a different thing, you can still leverage these events. Maybe you want to fire this hit player event when the player leaves the game boundary. So maybe they want to dance on the stage. That's absolutely fine. But maybe you want to call the event then that's another opportunity to use this. Decoupling these things is really useful because it means that you can maintain the code separately, you can reuse the code in other games, and you can update things in your game without having to pick through lots of different places that you might have used some tightly coupled aspects of the code. Let me know if this was useful. This was just a quick run through. There is a longer tutorial available where I really go through how to implement this kind of observer pattern in your game and why to do that. So yeah, if you get stuck, jump on the Discord. There's plenty of us on there helping each other out. And I look forward to seeing how you use the observer pattern in Crayta.